The final stop with my visitors was much closer to home, St. Jacobs, and one of the largest farmers' markets in Canada. On market days, hundreds of vendors filled the buildings and outdoor stalls with everything from local produce and food to crafts, clothing, and just about anything else you can imagine. And then there are the apple fritters, something of an institution here at St. Jacobs. The fritter company has been making them at the market since 1987, using local apples that are peeled, sliced, battered and fried right here. And judging by the line, their popularity hasn't faded. And the market certainly isn't limited to local produce. If your shopping list happens to include bison, wild boar, kangaroo, or even crocodile, apparently you're covered. The market has several indoor spaces too. In September 2013, a devastating fire destroyed the original main market building, but the market carried on. Vendors found temporary homes, and less than 2 years later, a new market hall opened on the same site. Cattle are very much part of the soundtrack here too. Right next door is the Ontario Livestock Exchange, where live auctions are held 3 days a week. We visited on a Thursday and could actually hear the auctioneer at work. Not to mention the cows. But you don't have to travel far from the market to be reminded that St. Jacobs lies at the heart of one of Ontario's largest Mennonite communities. Old order Mennonites have farmed the surrounding countryside for generations, and horse-drawn buggies are still a familiar sight on local roads. Their presence is very much part of the character of this area, a place where long-held traditions continue alongside the busy modern community that has grown up around them. Away from the market, St. Jacobs settles into a very different rhythm, so come and wander with us for a while. The main street is lined with independent shops, cafes and restaurants, many tucked into buildings that have been part of the village for generations. But this is still very much a farming community, and here, sharing the main street with a tractor is simply part of everyday life. eventually, our wandering brings us down to the Conestogo River. The milling story continued with Elias W.B. Snyder, who bought the flour mill in 1871. He became an early advocate of hydroelectric power, harnessing the potential of the river that had already powered the village's mill for decades. And that brings us to the end of St. Jacob's and to the end of my week of wandering with my visitors. We've covered quite a few miles, discovered some wonderful places, and made plenty of memories along the way. But before we go, there's someone back at the market who seems determined to have the last word. Thank you for wandering slowly with us.